before, it's definitely hard to predict that. But the Sky coming through with the Lyra and the Finn, a little bit surprising. If this is a jungle weapon Lyra and a lane Sky, that would probably be the weirdest of the matchups.
Tetno has played Sky a bit.
I was going to say Tetno is more of the Sky player for Cerberus here. And this is what Team Secret's going to be thinking about, like where are they putting these people in which position. Team Secret, however, does pick up the Fortress, meaning is it going to go to Palmatoro or is it going to stay on Mowgli? Looks like it's staying on Mowgli for now.
Not going to have any fun.
If that's the case, then we're going to have a similar damage output that we saw from Gankstars earlier. And that's just Samuel.
Our finals for Europe today between Gankstars Cerberus and Team Secret. Passing it now over to our shoutcasters, Xscoundrel and Sona.
I'm ready. Sona, are you ready?
I'm like 5 kinds of ready, mate.
5 kinds of ready. Well, yeah. I don't know how many types of ready chat is, but I hope you are all really excited for this final between Gankstars Cerberus and Team Secret. This is going to be essentially the clash of our titans here in the Evil 8. Iraqi Zoro bringing back the Lane Lyra.
Lane Lyra is, it's an odd one. We do see it sometimes, usually alternating current. Don't tend to see the weapon power Lyras too often. It looks like Techno JJ is probably going weapon power with his build anyway on that Sky. I'm surprised to see the Finn pick. I don't think Finn is anywhere near as powerful as he used to be. I think he's probably one of the few supports that I put down a tier at the moment. I think most supports are pretty strong, but Finn, because of the nerfs to his Quibble, is nowhere near as powerful as he used to be, and I think there's just better picks.
Yep. Well, we have the results of the chat voting. It is Gankstars Cerberus 76%. That is a huge margin of the 2 popular teams. And if you're going to talk about 2 teams that have really got a large fan base, Team Secret and Gankstars are definitely 2 within the VG community. Well, people are pretty behind Gankstars Cerberus here. 76% of the chat vote. But like you said, we'll have to see how the Finn performs. He definitely is down a little bit in terms of tiers at this point in time. He's already starting to get bullied out as Techno JJ being harassed by Mowgli here, Sona.
I really like the core Lance as well. I think Weapon Power Lance can do a lot of work. He's going to try and take down Leon. Not quite enough damage with that Githian wall. I think Tension Bow is where you want to be going. You know, get a lot of damage under your belt. Kavalafar's shown how good a Samuel he can be this weekend as well. So I think you're looking at the draft. I give it to Team Secret in all honesty.
I definitely think Team Secret have got a solid draft here. I love Palmatoro's Weapon Power Lance. I think he's been consistently good with this particular hero and this build. Depends where he's going to move with it. He's definitely going at least towards the 6 Sins, whether he follows that up into the on-hit Tension Bow or he goes towards Sorrow Blade, which tends to be a little bit more popular over in North America. And obviously Kamalafar likely going to head towards, I imagine, a Broken Myth first. I don't really feel that there's any reason for him to want to have to pick up a Frostburn first here, so Broken Myth likely going to be the first point of call. Maybe an Eve of Harvest if he feels like he needs the sustain or is going to be pressured, but I doubt that will be the case.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too difficult for Kamalafar to keep himself alive. Now, Techno stepping forward, going to try and get that forward barrage down, doesn't connect. Dodging back and forth, trying to land those auto attacks as well. Not quite enough for him at the moment. Mowgli jumps in with the Fortress, jumps back. Palmatoro misses the Impale. They're going to turn their attentions to him. Gankstars Cerberus looking for a kill. They can smell blood in the water, and their blood. Well, it's a blood for blood if they were playing the Arden, which they're not. So that pun doesn't actually work. But that's actually the main reason I wanted them to pick Arden over the Finn, because then I can make the blood for blood joke.
But anyway, Iraqi Zoro, he's just landing a lot of these basic attacks onto Kavalafar with the Sigil actually starting to harass him out of lane. One of the sort of benefits of Lyra is that she does have a massive range advantage over most other carries. The issue is that because of her basic attacks consuming a portion of her energy because of the heroic perk, she will struggle, you know, in the longer team fights to actually get impacts with Bright Bulwark and Sigil, because she'll end up spending a lot of energy on her basic attacks that are kind of consumed through the use of alternating current and her heroic perks. So we'll have to see how impactful that's going to be. That's kind of why Lyra has never really found a true carry role. And we'll have to see if Iraqi Zoro gets to a point where he's starting to get energy gated, as I like to call it.
Good old energy gating. It's a very slow start from both these teams. A slight lead for Team Secret, just CS across the board is ever so slightly ahead for them. Kavalafar in lane pretty much leading to that 200 gold advantage. It's not huge, but it's big enough. Do expect Palmatoro to be picking up that Tension Bow pretty soon. does look like it's actually going to be a Solar Blade. So I was wrong. He's going down that North American route rather than the potential.
And maybe just having the flat damage here makes sense for him because you know, potentially, for instance, you're not going to get a massive impact out of Impale onto Leon, so just having the basic attacks being more impactful might be the case. Actually, Techno JJ is going to take a lot of damage here. Will go down. First blood.
Cavalifar gets first blood. It's big for them. Managing to pick up that first kill of the game. It allows Palmator and Mowgli a little bit of time to take away these fronts as well. So Cavalifar's starting to get himself scaling up. He's got a reflex block already very early on. Obviously very scared of Leon hitting that level 6.
I completely agree. So, let's have a look where items tend to be going here. Like you said, it is going to be the Sorrow Blade, Weapon Power, Techno JJ, Sky here. Something that we have kind of seen fallen out, to be honest, Sona. We saw a lot of it at Summer Live Championships, but now we haven't really seen Sky be as effective in that Weapon Power role for quite a time. Going to be Iraqi Zoro going towards Alternating Current. Obviously, Fountain first choice of Mowgli and Leon. You would literally have no other choice as a roamer. Palmator is likely going towards Sorrow Blade there, and Cavalifar actually looks like Eve of Harvest is going to be his first point. So we pointed out that he might want that extra sustain and energy regen. That's where he's going to itemize.
We have sometimes seen Cavalifar pick up this early Void Battery though, and then build up towards something like a Broken Myth or a Shatterglass. I wouldn't be surprised if he does do that. But Eve of Harvest, as you said, a little bit more sustain can be pretty powerful. Especially when you're playing against healers as well, having your own sustain is incredibly important. What I'd like to see Team Secret doing now that they've started to hit these level 6s is looking for fights, looking to try and get into that enemy jungle and try to catch out the Gankstars Cerberus squad. And that's exactly what they're doing. Palmator is going to step forward here. In fact, he's going to roll forward straight into the waiting arms of Leon. That did him from getting onto Iraqi Zoro at all.
Yeah, Cavalifar happy to just start to land Malice and Verdicts. Leon is now level 6 though. There is reflex blocks already existing for Mowgli and Cavalifar. Palmatoro himself not having picked up one, so do we see some big level 6 plays here with the Finn into the Sorrow Blade completed Sky, and the Alternating Current that now sits on Iraqi Zoro? We tried to see one, but Leon unfortunately did miss right there.
Can't hit every hook, but you don't hit any of them if you don't throw them out, and so Leon just tries to get it out. There's the attack of the pack looking for the re-engage. They're waiting for Palmator. He's a long way away. Finally going to join the fray now. Jumps onto Leon. He's going to get some damage down. Imperial Surgery comes out. Mowgli has to back away, and Gankstars Cerberus survive the fight. Cavalifar's going to keep those Malice and Verdicts coming, though. He's going to see what he can do. He needs to try and poke out Iraqi Zoro where he can, and I do wonder how effective this Lyra is going to be late game. A lot of the scaling of the Imperial Sigil was taken off that Crystal Power and put on the base health, on that bonus health. And now just looking towards using those attacks, also attacks as a main damage source. Oblivion comes out onto Iraqi Zoro. There's the Impale, there's the Githian Wall, there's the Fountain coming out as well. We'll heal him up. Now Leon needs to get himself away, use the boots to get out. Only 4 seconds left before that Force Accord is back up. And he might try and catch out one Team Secret member. They might not be expecting it. Maybe they haven't kept the cooldown. So vital to keep track of that massive fight-changing ultimate.
Absolutely. Also, got to give credit to you, Sona. It does look like Cavalifar is going for the energy battery and then now moving towards a Broken Myth. So we were both right in a sense, but you hit the nail on the head. He is just keeping hold of the energy regen and then probably later going to pick up the Eve of Harvest. I do like the Broken Myth first here. Obviously, he just makes Samuel's damage output really high. And like you said, I am also worried about the effectiveness of this lane Lyra as we go on. You don't have that scaling, like you said, on Crystal Power on her Sigil of Imperial Sigil anymore. And to be completely frank, she does burn through her energy quite readily with this Alternating Current build. You are basically almost entirely basic attack reliant as Lyra to be a carry, and there are just people that do this slightly better, Samuel obviously being one of them. Even Sky, to be honest, as a Crystal Power carry, doing better in that respect too. And you really rely heavily on your heroic perk damage and on those basic attacks too. So I want to see how this transpires and if they can make the use of it. Obviously Techno JJ, highly mobile, weapon powered carry, can jump. Oh, he's dead.
Whoa! Can't even cast that one.
I know, just that went. Instead of 0 to 100 real quick, that went 100 to 0 real quick.
that is crazy. I I don't even know, like, that was the quickest I've ever seen anyone die in a game of Vainglory. His health just literally melted.
That was the combo of Impale into, I think, Law of the Claw, and Cavalafar landing a couple of really good Sigil Malices.
Well,
so,
the fight started, I was like, Leon's positioned himself well, lands a good double quibble, and then I looked at the back and it's just like, oh, okay, Iraqi's dead. Excellent. I have no idea how that happened, but it was beautiful to see Team Secret knowing the exact limits of their team. It is Eve after broken myth for Cavalafar, sitting on 103 CS, only 10 minutes into the game. Such a good position for him. I was going to say as well, there's no Crucible coming out from Leon. He's going down that cooldown reduction build. Oh, good force to Cod going to land on Cavalafar, but he will boot himself away with the reflex block as well. Not having a Crucible, I think, is actually quite vital, because you've got Impales and you've got the Oblivion coming out from Samuel. We've seen how big a good sleep can be earlier on, as we saw a Crystal going down.
I love a good sleep.
A well-placed Chris, so...
I'm getting to that age where I just really love a good sleep, Soda.
Mate, sometimes you get a little bit tired, sometimes you just need to put your head down and get a good sleep, and it's exactly what Cavalafar is looking for. If you can land the Oblivion, play it, Mr. Sandman, on your guitar for Gankstars Cerberus. Leon goes low, Impale comes up, here comes the Oblivion, great sleep onto Iraqi's Zoro, 500 damage as well. Iraqi's going to try and use those alternating current stacks to push back back Team Secret. Can't do it too well for the moment. 3-0 for Team Secret.
That's one of the things that actually a lot of people do forget about Oblivion. Its damage output is pretty insane too, especially if you've managed to build up those broken myth stacks with your Malice and Verdict. People sometimes do forget about it. Cavalafar walks straight into Leon here.
Has got the reflex block available if Leon goes for another quibble. Decides he doesn't need it. Iraqi's Zoro not able to get the chase off. Now Palmer and Mowgli have repositioned off towards the back of the fight, and Leon is dead. That's why you don't need the reflex. You have to bait them in. You have to outsmart them. These guys are the sirens of the Halcyon Fold. Team Secret calling Leon to the rocks, and what a rocky end he had. They're looking for the turret now. Going to be able to take this one down very quickly with Cavalafar and Mowgli, but no minions there mean they have to back away. Techno has that forward barrage, doesn't want to use it too much because he's weapon power, of course. Not building up the crystal. Iraqi is starting to hurt, though, on this Lyra as well. And once again, Team Secret leave without taking down the turret.
So you just saw there why sometimes sort of a kind of core Lyra can be kind of underwhelming. Like, even though they basically managed to get a face check from Cavalafar straight into the Fim, there wasn't really any burst damage, and he was able to just drift in dark, and with that Eve of Harvest sustain up, and then obviously eventually managed to turn it around with the success of his teammates. If that was a Samuel getting quibbled by anything else in sort of a roam position heavy damage output, even maybe Sky, that probably would have been Cavalafar dying. But with it just being Lyra, the basic attack dependent, just Cavalafar was able to just waltz out. He just really wasn't fussed.
No, not fussed at all. Team Secret haven't got as big an advantage as it seems. Forced the corner on Cavalafar, that's huge, he does get away. There's the death from above though. Cavalafar needs to use his drifting dart, needs to use his Eve to keep himself alive. He's done a good job for now. Mowgli was the front line for the team. He's going to go low though. Techno looking for the kills. There are the auto attacks. He's going to take down one. He's looking for Cavalafar next. Gankstars Cerberus able to turn it around. What a force accord from Leon. Impale from Palmer. Jumps in. Double quibble. Palmer and Cavalafar are going to fall. It's going to be ace. And Gankstars Cerberus, are they serious? No, they're not. That's their sister team. But Cerberus are taking down Secret in this game.
And they get the first turret of the game too. I have no idea why Palmatoro thought that was going to be a good idea to jump in. If he'd gone down the tension bow route, maybe. The scaling has gone down on Impale. It's just not as impactful straight up anymore. And he just jumps back in on 3rd HP. The fountain was used super early from Mowgli as well. Nothing there to back him up either. I have no clue why he thought that was going to be an effective way to win out that fight. But anyway, Team Secret paid the price for it. And now Gankstars are actually ahead. Oh, Cavalafar with the late reflex block again.
Does manage to get himself away, but Cavalafar has not been on form with those reflexes. There is a Crucible for Mowgli, and Leon's got his own Crucible now as well. Fountain's up for both of the roams in just a second. Team Secret need to work out a different game plan because this siege on the turret is not working for them at the moment. They keep getting pushed back. Palmer Stormer Blade weapon infusion as well. He's got himself an Aegis, another heavy steal. Here's Leon. Mowgli's going to run through, double quibble. Death from Above's going to come down as well. Attack of the Pack is used. Sleep's going to land. Leon will resist, but he can't resist the impale, and that's the first blood. They're going to turn onto Irakizora, who does manage to get himself away for the moment. Palmer stuck in the bright bulwark, has to back away. Team Secret could look for this turret now. Techno JJ is going to try and defend it.
Well, Mowgli does manage to back out of turret range there. Obviously, Poor Barrage not going to be as impactful with the weapon power build for Techno JJ, so he wasn't able to punish Mowgli for that particular tirade. And now Team Secret turn things around. Iraqi kind of wards them off with the sigil there, but look at the damage output from Kavalify compared to Irakizora. It is just huge with this Malice and Verdict. Almost 3 items on this Samuel. Massive, massive damage output for him.
So you do have the Bright Bulwark, of course, as the Lyra as well, which is a big damage bump, but the problem is he's always using it, you know, Leon dies and then Iraqi's just using it to protect himself. You can't use it aggressively, and it's one of my main problems with Lyra as a hero, is that it's very difficult to be aggressive. Look at any of the good mage heroes, like Samuel, Scarf, all of them, even Sky, all of them have the ability to get onto that backline when they need to, or at least try and push the pace of a fight. Lyra never really has that ability, in my opinion, because if you go in, which is what we tend to see Roam Lyras do, you know, they arcade passage in and then they bright bulwark, you will get focused down in an instant. You cannot do that as Mage Lyra.
Yeah, you need someone to facilitate you as Mage Lyra, but I think that's kind of maybe what the Finn's there for. But like you said, it's so risky to run your core Lyra in with the arcane passage, because you're putting your main source of damage, or your supposed main source of damage, right in firing distance of every other source of damage that the enemy team has. So like you said, you can do it as Roam Lyra because you're a bit tanky, you build flat health, and in general you don't go down as easily. But when you're playing this core Lyra, you do go down easy. You don't have heals because it scales better off health. You know, a lot of patches have kind of tried to push Lyra and solidify her role as a roamer. She's probably not cut out to be a core Lyra at this point. It's mainly there for lane harass and winning lane and pushing quickly. The later game connotations of a core Lyra, it's very difficult to make work.
Incredibly difficult to make work. Leon, building as much shield as he can, picks himself up an Aegis to sit alongside the Crucible he already has. Needs 2 reflex blocks to try and block out the damage coming out from Team Secret. Here we go, goes in with the fight. Polite Company's use, good death from above will separate the team fight, and Team Secret not able to get anything out of it. They can turn their attentions back towards this Kraken. There's no real vision here for Gankstars Cerberus. They're just going to have to face it. They're going to have to check it. Do have the flares. There's Leon with the first. Going to see what he can do. Capture this. Now, we have seen many a Forced Accord steal a Kraken in the past. They don't have their Lyra there just quite yet. Kraken down to half HP. No real vision from Team Secret on where Gankstars are. And Leon's going to show himself. The flare comes down. Here we go. Here comes the damage. Oblivion is used. It's not going to connect. Gankstars Cerberus on the back foot. Death from above will come down. Kraken still aggroed onto Team Secret. Mowgli doesn't have attack of the pack up. They're going to look for the jump in. Leon there. Good cripple onto Kavalifar. Irakizora goes low though because Palmer's jumped into the back line. And here comes Kavalifar. The Samuel doing work with the Malice and Verdict. There's the fountain. Palmer will survive. Techno JJ jumps in. Gets impaled. Mowgli just about alive. Will be the first to fall. Now Kavalifar should go down as well. Gankstars Cerberus cleaning up the fight. They can turn onto Palmer turret as well. Not quite able to chase him down. But Gankstars Cerberus pick up 2 and equalise the scoreline.
Oh my word, somehow managing to out-sustain with that Lyra heal. Gankstars Cerberus, they were forced to use their fountain first. Mowgli obviously had to respond there, but with that Lyra heal managing to impact 3 members, they somehow just clinched the edge of the sustain fight in the war versus Team Secret, as well as the fact that Techno JJ, his damage output is consistent at this point in time. He can consistently output a solid source of damage as this weapon power Sky, and Kavalifar, you know, he ran out of energy. He just wasn't able to consistently throw down as much damage as you were seeing from Techno JJ, and eventually through that sustain war they did end up winning through basically the attrition of basic attacks.
Good attrition for them at the moment. Irakizora sitting on 1,300 gold. Goes for the coat of plates. A little bit of defense now on that Lyra. Right, I mean, he's already got Aegis as well, so he's got a bit more defense really for himself. Techno JJ has his breaking point. Let's see how he stacks this up in the next fight. That's going to be big with this Kraken pushing in. Death from above forces Team Secret away. Leon there as that front line once again. His triple shield. The Aegis picked up as well.
One of the big things that does play into favour of a core Lyra in just here is that obviously without Attack of the Pack, like you said, it's very difficult to actually threaten her as a lance.
Core support is blocked. It is incredibly difficult to threaten her, and hopefully we have a little bit more time in this team fight for you to talk about it. Attack of the Pack's used. Oblivion was already blocked out by the Crucible. Here they go. Death from above comes down. Techno and Iraqi are low. The Kraken down to about a third HP. Leon is the target at the moment for Team Secret. They might just back away and take down the Kraken. They don't want to lose their crystal turrets. They're going to lose at least one though. And Team Secret have their base broken open. One more Kraken is all it will take for Gankstars Cerberus to win the first game against Secret here today.
Yeah, it's the Attack of the Pack that is really needed for Team Secret, because that's where you can try and threaten Iraqi Zoro. Obviously, Bright Bulwark will kind of stop you in your tracks, but in most situations it will be very difficult for Team Secret in general to get damage heavily onto Iraqi Zoro or Techno JJ, because Leon will body block most of what Cavalifar is bringing to the table. So otherwise, you're kind of relying on a weapon power lance. So at this point, a weapon power lance who's gone pure weapon power, by the way, double Sorrow Blade. At this point, a double Sorrow Blade lance probably not going to be your biggest threat to either of those carries. And that, I think that is where the sort of benefit of the on-hit lance comes on. He always has a more solid damage output as the game scales onwards. Double Sorrow Blade.
Oh, no, got the Palmatano across the wall! Leon, you absolute god amongst men, absolutely melts through Team Secret. They're split. Two members of Team Secret are going to be taken down here. Mowgli's going to fall, and now Cavalifar just has to try and keep himself alive for as long as possible, because otherwise the game is Gankstars. He's going to have to try and survive. He gets the Malice and Verdict down. Can he get away from Leon and Iraqi Zoro? There's a turret at his back. There's three members of Gankstars Cerberus straight in front of his face. He's going to be cut off here by Techno JJ, but he's so low on health. Cavalifar trying to escape. Iraqi Zoro does pop the boots to try and get away. He steps on a scout trap. Here's Techno JJ. Cavalifar goes in with a drifting dart, picks up one. He's done such a good job of keeping himself alive. He needs to back. He needs to defend the base. Gankstars Cerberus aren't even going to look for it now. What a job by Cavalifar. Gankstars Cerberus win out the fight, but Cavalifar keeps his team in this game.
He keeps the team in his game. That was a really, really good pull. That's kind of what we call the Mowgli special, really. Mowgli pulling over from the Kraken area. It was a fantastic catch onto Palmatoro. Palmatoro didn't obviously have the reflex blocks to peel that off quick enough. So people might have wondered, why didn't they just try and barrel down the lane? They had one turret left available. They're all on very low HP. And Cavalifar could have backed off. And without the minion wave, Cavalifar definitely would have been able to defend himself in that particular scenario. So,
what are Gankstars doing? It's a Kraken. What are Gankstars doing?
Oh,
this is the free Kraken.
They've just let it go. They've just let Team Secret pick up a free Kraken. So if anyone's interested in the third place game between SK and Malsports, SK actually came back in game 2 here. And they are going to take it all the way to the third in that third place match. So it's going to be a real nail biter. I'm sure we'll have an update as this best of 3 progresses too.
So Leon's used the Force Accord there. It was blocked out by the Crucible, so it goes on that long, not Crucible, Reflex block, sorry, coming out from Cavalifar. Goes on that longer cooldown. It's about 20 seconds before it's back up. Now, Team Secret looking for the push with this Kraken. Cavalifar's infused, so's Mowgli, so's Palmatoro, so's everyone in the game. Leon going to take some pain here, but he's got triple shield. Absolutely huge. Turret's going to fall. Oblivion is blocked out with the Crucible. Leon takes some more pain. Brogu goes in with the Attack of the Pack. They're trying to get onto Iraqi Zoro. They're trying to get onto the back line, but the Force Accord will drag them in. Kraken still pushing in. Techno takes a lot of hurt. Palmer's going to go onto Leon. Hasn't got that much armor. Mowgli needs to keep himself alive. He can't do it. Iraqi Zoro takes him down. Now, Cavalifar and Palmatoro, it's up to them to try and keep themselves in this fight. Good fountain used by Leon to keep his carries alive. Palmer will fall. Cavalifar should go down as well. It's an ace for Gankstars Cerberus. And even with the Kraken pushing onto their turrets, they should be able to win out this game. It's one turret between them and 1-0 over Team Secret. And Gankstars Cerberus are going to take the game.
Iraqi Zoro sure showed me his ability to execute as this core Lyra has proved successful, using that portal right there just to finish off Mowgli before the fountain could even have an effect. And another point to note is I think a lot of this will come down to maybe sort of compositionally for Team Secret and build paths. Palmotoro with a double Sora Blade, especially into Leon on this Finn. It's an interesting decision to have gone that way, because I genuinely feel like a double Sora Blade lance is just a lot less impactful than the Tension Bow variant or with the Storm Crown. And I actually feel for a large portion of this game, Palmotoro really wasn't having much impact. That he couldn't actually get to the Lyra